Initializing Ethereum protocol. Establishing link to Cloud Citadel. Welcome, Alita Army. You stand at the threshold of quantum consciousness.
Okay, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of February the 27th, not 22nd, 27th, 2026. Alita, the Lost Archives, Secrets of the Pre-Fall World, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gunham, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and with me from Fountain, Colorado is Lee. How's it going, Lee?
Well, it was going pretty good.
And from the Shires there in the UK, we got the
Hello.
How's it going, Vladi?
Not bad, bit tired. We had a couple of days sunshine in the UK last week. It's a miracle. We've had no sunshine in months.
Oh, the sun came out?
It's crazy, I know. It's unheard of all year. I think they're doing it on purpose. They're literally controlling the weather to make everything as miserable as possible.
So it looks like we've got out there in the chat, we got Alita Battle Angel Life. Alita Battle Angel Life, I hope you noticed a comment I put on one of your videos that I'm now actually featuring your channel on my channel. So anyway, we can...
I love that they're in chat. Is this Alita Battle Angel Life? Are you a man or a woman?
Does it matter?
I'm just curious. Curious. Well, I'll talk to them in chat.
Yeah. And we've also got out there Bad Man. How's it going, Bad Man? Good to see you out there as well. It looks like we got some folks out there today. That's pretty cool. So anyway, a lot of folks, basically you don't have to comment, to see what's going on with the stream. So, we're glad to have you as well. So, how are things in the UK there, Vladi?
Not bad. Not great, but not bad. It's pretty cool, though. Next week, I've got Rosa to look forward to. So that's a little ray of sunshine in otherwise bleak and miserable country.
Yeah. Well, you probably saw in my DM on X that the florist kind of messed up the order.
I saw that. So she got flowers from you yesterday instead of...
She got flowers yesterday, and she's going to get them again when you're
there. And you emailed her to say that, oops, they came early. Sorry, now you get extra flowers. Does that mean I
did tell her, I said, I hope you like chocolate because she's going to get it both times. But anyway.
Yeah. Where did you get yours from? Which flower place?
It's a kind of a chain, I guess, or not a chain.
What is it? Is it Prestige?
Kind of big enterprise level thing there in the UK called Flowers UK. So.
Oh, okay. Mine was different then. I was worried we'd get her the exact same flowers every time.
Are you getting her flowers as well, Vladi?
I got her flowers for the Alita anniversary one. Oh, it was really nice after because she was like, "Did you send the flowers?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." And I think I saw them on her table, like with the vanity mirror where they all get ready. Because her wig was next to there was a behind the scenes thing of High Noon Play, which has only got 1 week left, guys. If you want to go see it, you've only got 1 week to go. You finish the competition, right? Just come down for that final show.
Oh gosh, the competition's on the 6th, so
it's just around the corner, though.
Yeah, I know, but I can't make it. Golly, I hate that.
It will just be. It's going to be really emotional. Can't believe she was here for so long, and this is her last performance. I'm so glad I'm going.
I guess if I didn't have this competition, I'd be back over there right now, Vladi. I mean, or actually not right now, but I'd have been back over there. I'd have probably flown in on, say, Wednesday or something like that, and flown back out on Monday. So, it would have been kind of cool, but,
long way to go. Speaking of which, I've got to plan a flight to Austin and stuff. It's a lot of pressure. I can barely plan a trip to Tesco, let alone a solo trip to Austin, Texas.
Yeah, well, I finally heard from Alita rave, and he's been
Yeah,
super,
same.
super busy, you know. But I told him I'd wait, you know, to make my flight plans, because he and I'd fly out the same airport, so we could probably fly on the same flight, you know. So, but we'll see, you know. But I did RSVP, so you know it's.
Same. I got the email back. The deadline is tomorrow, so thankfully we all got in before the deadline. They didn't leave us much time, did they?
No, they did not. But I got it in, so I'm good to go. So anyway.
Well, yeah, they confirmed, but they did say like spaces are limited, but surely they'll just let everyone come, especially on that April one where it just says there's nothing happening, we're just chilling out.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. We can still enjoy at least.
Yeah, I need to. I want to wait for them to email me again though before I start booking flights and stuff. Because haven't you only had the automatic email that you've submitted the form?
What now, Vladi?
You've only had the email which you got automatically from submitting that Google Documents form, correct?
Yeah, I've already submitted the Google Documents form.
Yes, I'm saying you've only got that auto. So we haven't had anything like directly from Brass Knuckle Films. You know what I mean? To say, come at this time, we'll meet here and such and such. I need to get that before I start booking flights. You know what I mean? I can't rely on just an automatic email before planning all that.
Well, I think you'd probably be all right with it. But, you know, anyway, I not only did I submit the form, you know, over the website, but I even sent 2 emails, you know, saying, hey, I'm coming, you know, that kind of. So, you know,
Alita Rave got a reply back. See, that seemed a little annoyed that Alita Rave had messaged him because he didn't get the automatic confirmation email. I might message them, email them too, because just to say I'm coming from the UK, so I probably need extra planning than most people. So can I have like it confirmed? Yeah,
let me check my email. I don't think I got one, did I?
Did you not get an automatic reply from the docs? Because that's why Alita Rave. That's why Alita Rave emailed them, and they gave him like a slightly annoyed reply. Apparently.
I did get an email from Brass Knuckle Films. Okay, so
saying, confirming that you did the form.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out and all that good stuff.
Thanks for filling out this form. Is that it? Yeah.
Yep. So I got something from them. So
which is an automatic email from like Google Forms. It's not from.
No, it's not from Google Forms. It's from Brass Knuckle Films. So.
Oh yeah, can you send me a picture of that or forward it or something? I've only got a confirmation that I did the form.
Let me see what it says. Thanks for reaching out in order to attend the studio. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's just they're just telling me that I had to RSVP on the form. So, yeah, that's not a confirmation. It's just saying, hey, you need to RSVP on the form, which I've done.
You haven't got the confirmation email?
No, I have not got confirmation.
Well, that's why Alita Rave emailed them directly because he didn't have it, so he was worried it didn't go through. I've got a confirmation email.
Well, I think it probably went through. I mean,
I'm just telling you, Alita Rave, he was worried that it hadn't. That's why he contacted them. I don't know if you want to do the same.
Well, you know, you can go to that to that website and click on it, and they give you an option to edit it. So, I mean, you know, it's on there. So, I mean, So anyway,
maybe it's fine. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably fine. I don't know. I'm just telling you what Alita Rave did.
Yeah. Okay.
I hate to miss out, Creepy, because the website is shit or something.
I don't think so, Lottie. I think it's a pretty professional organization. I don't think that would be I think we're good.
Via Google Documents, the form. The reply I got was from Google Documents. So I don't know if it's all connected well, but it probably is, yeah.
Well, I think we're good. So anyway, Lee, how's it going down there in Fountain?
No, not going too badly. You about the same as usual.
Yeah, about the same as up here, except you're in a really small town.
Yep.
I'm in a pretty big town, or a fairly big town anyway. Not as big as Vladi's London, but pretty big.
Well, I don't live in London, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Rose is London right now.
Well, technically, I don't live in Denver, so I mean,
the city belongs to Rosa.
Yeah.
She's my only queen, though. I don't recognize the king. I don't recognize King Charles. It's only Queen Rosa now. She should just stay and replace the royal family. We don't want them
Become the
anymore.
Queen of England and the Queen of the Elite Army, right, Lonnie?
Exactly. That'll be so much better.
Oh gosh, I bet she wouldn't want that headache. So
No, probably not. But fair play to her. She's worked so hard on this play. So many performances throughout the week, like 2 a day. It's crazy.
yeah, it is.
To have the stamina to keep putting in like a top performance every night and every afternoon. It's mental. She's extremely talented. So she's definitely have her own franchise in Alita.
Anyway, looks like AKA tells me congratulations on my 6th win.
Congrats, Ricky.
Last Saturday I won the state championship for
Congratulations, yeah,
for my age group. So I'm 6 years in a row. So I mean, yeah. To be fair though, my chief competition, kind of I think had to back out last second for an injury. So it would have been it'd have been a battle, I think. So but it would have been fun. So anyway. All right, well, we got those pleasantries out of the way. So anyway, just want to remind everybody we got the LA Fires fundraiser going on, and we've raised $1,700, and every dime of this money goes to the Greater Good charity, and they are still in recovery. They're not. I was wondering if if they had mostly recovered or something like that and didn't need the money or whatever. But there's still a bunch of homes that are being rebuilt, repaired, whatever. So we're going to keep this up, until we, find out that they are pretty much recovered, which it could be another year. Who knows, So anyway, there's the link below the image on the screen there. That link is down in the description. You click on it, takes you to the website. You click on donate now, and you got 3 options. If you don't want people to see who you are, you don't want your information kind of rolling around out there on the internet, you can specify anonymous. That's what Lee did. He specified anonymous. Vladi, his name's not up there because I guess they kind of got it in descending order or something like that. But you can see that Vladi, well, you can't see it, but Vladi uses internet handle or one of his internet handles, Vladi99, and you can do that as well, or you can put your name in there like Angelus and I. We just put our names in there. So anyway, help us help those folks in LA. They it's a horrible thing to have your house destroyed or severely damaged by fire. So it's we want to help them out as much as we can. We also got the Alita sequel petition going on now. We've got well over 178,000 signatures. There you see the link below the image on the screen, which is also down in the description. You click on it, takes you to the website. Now, you do have to enter your name and email address to sign the petition. However, you can specify that be withheld. And in other words, you can specify, the list that would come out after you sign the petition to be anonymous, and people won't see your name or your email address. You can also support Alita Battle Angel Part 2 by, contributing, putting money in there. And I know I've put money in there from time to time, and it does help. It does kick up the number of signatures a little bit, so, and I've also promoted this on my channel too. And I need to do it again, I guess, actually this and the fire victims thing. So anyway, if you can, if you haven't signed a petition, do so. And if you can spare a few bucks, you can, contribute that. Now, you don't have to. If you just signed a petition, you've done your job as a Alita Army member. And we do have Rosa's Queen Studios bust. And of course, it's still in the box. And we gave her this image that you see on the screen right here. We gave this to her when Vladi Smendrick and Angelus and I were there back about a month ago, I guess it was. Oh, and, she knows we got it. She knows, she knows I have it in my house. She knows that.
She's got your emails. We know that for sure now.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
She's got your emails. We could know that for sure.
Yeah, she's getting my
We
emails.
weren't sure for a while, but then she said, "I've got your emails."
Well, I wasn't sure she was getting them in the beginning, because
Yeah.
I was, kind of just sending them. Then I started running them through a spam, a spam filter, and it kind of helped me structure the email to where it would, be seen as a valid email or something. So anyway, but she did tell me she's getting the emails from me. So, and that's cool. I don't really need, she doesn't really have to respond to me. I mean, send me an email. That's not what I care about. The only time I want her to send me an email is when she's wants, okay, Creek, let's get the bus, and I suspect that'll be when, they green light the sequel and, the stars align like that. Then she'll probably let me know there, but she knows we have it. And she did tell me she wants it. She told me that in Pasadena, so, it's just a matter of time.
She, the most important gift, Creaky, is our love.
Yes.
And just tonight, another Alita Army guy from Poland, he has seen Rosa perform 1 week to Rosa. He's been sending me pictures, and it's really making my heart warm.
Yeah, well, we love our queen, that's for sure. She's great.
She is loving it. She's doing she's got a picture with him there.
Yeah, well, let's play this. Oh, there we go.
Hi, Stormy. I wore this for you.
Oh,
Sci-fi fantasy.
Hey.
Thank you.
Cool.
Welcome, Rosa. Thank you so much. We love you so much.
Love you.
We do, Rosa. Tell her we all love her there, Blods. And you did tell her we love her, didn't you, Blotty?
Yeah, and he's going again tomorrow for the matinee show. How great is that?
Oh, cool. That is cool.
He says, let me see, what did he say? It warmed my cockles. I'm so happy it worked out and my dream came true. Isn't that sweet?
Yes, she does have pretty eyes there, AKA, that's for sure, So anyway, hopefully if she's lurking out there, I hope we're not embarrassing her too much. So anyway, but yeah, we really love our queen. She's great. It looks like Chaos Nova from just north of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania showed up. Hey, Chaos, how's it going?
Hi.
Cool. So anyway, by the way, if anybody wants to come on, let me go ahead and put this on here right now, because we got a pretty neat topic tonight for a change. So I think we have good topics, but yeah, here's the link right here. You just click on it, I'll bring you in, and you can, if you want to just come on and say I love Alita and get off, you can do that, or you can come on and stay with us and talk about the topic and all kinds of stuff. And this will be the same link for the Stammtisch after party. So and I'll repost it before we get to that point. But yeah, we did give this, we printed this out and gave this to Rosa when we were there, I guess about a month ago. So, and Rosa does have my contact information. So whether she sends me an email or calls me or whatever she wants to do, it doesn't matter. I'll get this to her any way she wants it. I mean, if she says, Creek, I want you to drive the bus down here to LA, I'll do it. I mean, I certainly will do that, and when that happens, probably Angelus will want to fly over from Australia, and kind of ride shotgun or something like that, and more than likely my brother would want to go too. So, we'd have an entourage going down there, maybe, I don't know. But I could drive it by myself. That doesn't matter. I've driven cross country many times, so it wouldn't be that difficult, or if she says, Creek, can you just ship it to me? I'll do that too. Doesn't matter. It's up to her how she wants to get it, because we definitely want her to have this. Now, we did give her some gifts, when we were there about a month ago, and she loved those gifts. She particularly liked the necklace we gave her, and she kind of held on to that thing the whole time. But those were gifts. This right here is not a gift. We don't consider it a gift. We consider this an award. This is an expression, or our expression, of our admiration, appreciation, and affection for our queen, Rosa. We are really, really fortunate that she was selected to portray Alita in Alita Battle Angel. And I'm sure that some of those other actors might have done a pretty good job, but Rosa just knocked it out of the park. She is Alita, and Alita is Rosa. So we are really fortunate. And if Maxie was here, he'd be getting on to me about waxing lyrical. So I'm going to go ahead and move on from there. We also have the Alita Gaming Network going on. And if you want to join, you got to get, there's a Discord link you see below our Chibi Alita mascot there. You click on it. If you don't have a Discord user ID, they will ask you for one. But if you get the basic service, it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay a penny. And to join once you get the Discord username, to join the network, that doesn't cost you anything either. All of this is absolutely free. You can get on there, talk to other people on the network. If you do live streams, you can, put your link for your live stream in the live streams channel. I know I put the link for this stream in there yesterday, I think it was. And Maxie puts his links in there for live streams. When he does a live stream, he puts his link in there. And looks like Vladi 2 is showing up here. Vladi 2, what is
My
this?
evil twin has arrived.
Is this the evil Vladi?
No, I'm the evil Vladi. Vladi 2 is the one I let out of the basement on rare occasions.
Okay. So
okay, I'm just going to share my screen.
Okay.
You can see Rosa tonight. Isn't that sweet? Hold on. So this is Rosa. Well, this is a thing he got signed first. His name is Maki. I never know how to pronounce it. You'll probably know him, Creaky. Can you see that?
Yes. Yeah, we see it.
Let me hide this. Lovely flowers. He did great there. He got her a little bag and everything. He was messaging me being like, "Is this bag good enough?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's great." Cute flowers, right?
Yeah, those
cute little bouquet of mini roses.
Yeah.
How sweet. There's a selfie.
Nice. Peace. Yeah.
He was right at the front of the queue.
Yeah.
And he's going again tomorrow. She looks so sweet in the curtain call.
Yeah.
That's the her partner sort of in the one she's most in contact with, I think, in the play, her character. Look how cute her smile is here.
Yeah,
1 week to go, Rosa.
Rosa's a pretty lady, that's for sure.
Really cute. They all agree. They're all like, "God, isn't Rosa amazing?" They're all looking at her.
The guy on the left is looking at her. The guy in the middle is looking at her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1 week to go. He's really tall. Remember, he comes in as like one of the guy's henchmen, the one they're all scared about.
Yeah, yeah.
I know all these characters so well now.
And you're going to get going again, Vladi.
I know. It's one more time. I wonder if I've been the most out of anyone. 4 times? Are there people that go loads of times to plays?
So how many times have you seen Rosa now?
4 times.
Well, this
no,
week
3 times now. It will be 4 times.
Okay, so yeah, you'll have seen Rosa more than anybody. All right.
Smashed it.
From the Elite Army. Yeah.
Obviously, you're not compared to everybody. I'm sure she's got friends and family that have seen her more
she's got
than we have. But yeah, it was a gift from the universe that she was plopped in my capital city.
Yep.
There you go. Isn't that nice?
That is extremely nice.
Yeah.
What's his name? Just so I get it. Maciej Pacek. He's from Poland, I'm pretty sure. Looks like he was born in '88, just like me.
You guys are kids, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Millennial Alita fanboys. That's what we are.
Yeah, we're all Alita fans.
We needed Alita to save us from the
Well, and the
drudgery of the disappointment of what future held for us. Little did we know as kids, but at least we have Alita to look forward to.
yeah. So anyway, now getting back to the Alita Gaming Network, like I say, if you do live streaming, you can put those links in there. You know, I put the link in there. I think, you know, Maxie puts the link for Radio Chaos in there. When Chaos Nova, when he does a live stream, he puts the link in there, you know, and you can kind of do a little bit of advertising with that. If you do fanfics, like say Maxie and Lee, they have what's essentially novels, you know, in the fan fiction channel. Panini Freak has got, she has a fanfic in there. Channel does not exist, has several fanfics in there. And even the Creek has got a fanfic in there. So, you know, you can go read, see new content for Alita, even if it's not canon, it doesn't matter. I guess Maxie's would be closest to canon, wouldn't it, Lee? And yours would be next, I guess.
Yeah, Maxie's is based more along the lines of the original storyline, and blends a bit of the manga with the cinematic universe.
Yeah, and I think mine's more of in that 10-year period, you know, where.
Yeah.
So I don't know if mine's canon or not. Maxie kind of got on me because I had Lou Collins as
that part certainly wouldn't be canon, but
yeah, that wouldn't be canon because it'd be big at Eisenberg. But
yeah,
but I do have an explanation for that. So anyway, we don't need to go into it. So, but if you do artwork or you do like videos, you put that in the user creations channel. If you do content that's maybe very loosely Alita related or maybe not Alita related, you can put that in the off-topic channel. We have 3 voice channels, which are kind of like GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams, or Zoom, or something like that, in which only the people that are on those channels with you, because those channels are not streamed. They're strictly just for the Alita Army Network members. And, you know, you get on there and you talk to them, you can share your screen, you can invite other people that are members for the Alita Gaming Network. And I did check this time to see how many members we got, and it's gone up a little bit. I think it's like 54 now. But we're not really pushing this because I think the folks that are in the network kind of enjoy it being small, you know, because it's a little more intimate that way, you know. We also have Watch Party channel. Now, I've done some watch parties here. Certainly,
we need to do another one. We've not done one for ages.
Well, we haven't. That's true, you know. But we did do
with the competitions and whatnot.
About 6 weeks ago, Bloody? I guess we did. We watched Chips, which was pretty cool.
It's only 6 weeks.
And guess who just showed up?
Hey, Maxie.
Me, I heard my name multiple times mentioned.
And you went, holy crap, I got to get on here to straighten Creek out, right?
you literally summoned me, you know, you like said Beetlejuice, 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 except it was Max Tech, Max Tech, Max Tech.
Max Tech, Max Tech. Say that 3 times fast. So anyway, but yeah, we did about 6 weeks ago, we watched Chips because Rose is in that. We've watched Alita Battle Angel, or at least the watch parties that I've, you know, kind of supervised, I guess you could say. We watched Alita Battle Angel 3 times. We've watched, I guess, Rose's Star Trek short, The Trouble with Edward. We watched that. We watched Chariot. We've watched Good Crate. They were all cool because we really like, all of us just love watching Rosa, you know, do her craft, you know, because she is a superb actor. Now, you
can tell she is, especially when you see her live and doing it again and again. Like, she's always on point. She can act. That's for sure.
Yeah, she's awesome. That's for sure. But now you don't have to wait for the Creek to do a watch party. If you're a member of the gaming network, you can do a watch party if you want. You just jump in there and do it. You know, you don't need my either.
I tried finishing Fist of the North Star like 2 weeks ago, but I'll do other movies eventually. I see to schedule it.
Okay. Yeah, well, you can do that in the Watch Party channel, can't you? Or would you do that as a live stream there, Chaos?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So anyway, what you would do if you were going to do your watch party, you could put somewhat of an advertisement, I guess you could call it, in the watch party text channel. You know, just let people know that you're going to do a watch party. You can invite people directly and get in the watch party channel and just you know, watch the movie. I mean, and once again, you don't need my permission. You just get in there and do it. I do watch this. You know, I do kind of keep an eye on it to make sure that nothing untoward or inappropriate gets in there. And we've never had any problem with that. I have noted that in the off-topic channel, there is some politics in there. So, you know, if you don't want to, you know, be in politics, you want to maybe stay away.
Was that recent?
Yeah.
Was there a big debate?
Yeah, just a little bit, not too much. Mostly, I think I've seen one or two posts, but it's nothing horrible. You know, it's just it is a little political, but it's not. You know, one thing I'm not going to tolerate is, you know, pushing a particular candidate or something like that. And I'm going to leave it at that, Maxie. So, or a particular politician, you know, I'm not going to. I'll delete that immediately. But you know, but certainly you can put anything you want in the off-topic channel as long as it's not, you know, pornographic or, you know, inappropriate or something like that. You know,
it's raining again here now. Just as I was saying, we had 2 nice days of weather. Of course, it's back to rain.
So it's back to normal in the UK.
It's back to normal, yeah. I suppose that's kind of a relief. It's nice to be back to normal. But honestly, it's just felt so depressing. As soon as the sun comes out, everyone just chirps right up.
Well, Alita Battle Angel Life says there's roughly 1 million AI researchers in China, and we've got 200,000.
Yeah, no. Cameron needs to go to China to because Cameron's working with AI to try and get VFX budgets down, and it will hopefully get the sequel moving.
Yeah.
But he's having some difficulty, I think. And yeah, China are pushing it. What's that new one called? What's that new one that was weird? It had a controversy. It created clips of like Disney characters.
I'm not sure of
Sound Seek or something. I can't remember. God.
Oh, Sea Dance.
Sea Dance, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And that is like crazy. Like, how is Hollywood not going to use this? Surely they can figure out how to use it to make VFX. The problem they've got is you can't. It always recreates the image every time it generates it, but they need to get it to be like VFX, where you can go down to a minute detail and make tiny adjustments, which they haven't cracked yet, based on what Cameron said recently.
Well, what I've seen of Sea Dance is pretty damn good. I mean, you know, and I know Alita Battle Angel Lives. I know their videos. You know, I mean, that is really.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be the future. People aren't going to be happy, but there's going to be AI in this Alita sequel. That is pretty much for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be too. Although I do think Cameron would probably lean mostly on CGI.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Cameron is always a pioneer with new technology in cinema, and that's not going to change with AI. It's just like an inevitability. You're just going to have to deal with it. All the AI haters out there.
Well, anyway, if you can join the network, it's absolutely free. If you don't have a Discord username, they'll prompt you for one, and that's free if you get the basic service. Now you get the Nitro service, and that costs $12 a month, I think, or $8 a month, something like that. I'm not sure which, but if you get the free service, you can do just as well on the gaming network as you could a paid service. So, how are things in Sydney or north of Sydney there, Maxie?
Well, it's been raining. Just to, you know, it's raining on both sides of the world, Vladdy.
Yeah.
It must be nice to have some warmth, though.
Yeah, well, we're not freezing.
Yeah.
It's 22 Celsius outside at the moment, which is kind of weird for late February. That's weird for late February. It should be double that.
That's about 60 Maxie Fahrenheit. Like that.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's just all the mosquitoes at the moment.
Cool.
Clouds of them.
All right, we got
lifting out the sun.
Yeah, let me see. Looks like Chaos Nova's got something there. I want to post that.
Oh, and g'day, AKA. Yes, I'm here.
Well,
late than never.
Let me get 2 here. Yeah, hang in there, guys. I'm gonna put Chaos's
Yeah, maybe Cameron should literally just work with China to make the Alita sequel. The right of first refusal must be gone, and America's got too many unions and stuff. China, they'll just get everyone. Think they'll just embrace AI without any problem.
All right, there's Chaos Nova's video. You guys can go watch. Is that the right one? That's the right one, isn't it? Chaos, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the right one.
Yeah. All right, well, we hit this stuff good enough. Let's go ahead and get to the main topic here. Now, basically, I put this topic together, and I've made some assumptions, which I am so sure that Lee and Maxie and Chaos are going to, probably Vladi, even though he hasn't read as much of the manga as they have. But I made some assumptions here, on some of this stuff, particularly in the area of AI, because
Did you make that flyer with AI?
No, yeah, I made the flyer with AI. That's right. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. AI is pretty decent. I mean, I can see why artists don't like it because it's kind of, steps on their moment or something. But as a tool, it's pretty good. And I think AI is here to stay. Personally, I think it's. I think it's a better tool.
We're just in a massive period of transition. You never know what's going to happen in a few days' time.
Well, I know I play with Copilot.
Probably more dystopian horrors that you can't possibly imagine.
Well,
sorry, go on.
No, it's okay, Vladi. I don't care.
I think there'll be a place for, the regular artists.
Of course you do, Frankie.
Regardless.
What? Chaos?
I'm
Chaos.
Informational artist, but I mean, I tend to Photoshop more than actual generative AI.
Yeah.
I cut things out of a picture and put them in something else.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's like AI can do that really easily now too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we got some topics here, some, I guess sections of a topic or whatever. We're going to talk a little bit about what it was like, now granted this is all fiction, but, what it was like, before the fall, the Great War of the Fall. We're going to discuss why a lot of this information that was stored in archives, libraries, stuff like why a lot of this stuff was lost. And then, not everything was lost. Some stuff survived, and why did it survive? That kind of thing. We're going to go over forbidden technologies. And of course, all you guys are going to know that one part of that's going to be nanotech, so we'll get to that one. We're going to talk about, these folks that had control of these of this information in the archives itself. And then certainly, Alita herself is a living archive because, I mean, that Berserker body is 300 years old. And, it's certainly more powerful, more advanced than anything that is in the 26th century. And it comes from the 23rd century. So, it's very much an archive itself. And only, I guess, Ito figured out, how to interface, some of, or interface Alita's core, with, the subsystems in the Berserker body. And then, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about what does it mean for the future, if you lose information. Or if you ignore information. So in other words, if you have data that's lost, what does that mean? And of course, everybody knows, or many folks will know, that you'll be doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over, which us humans seem to be good at anyway, even though we don't lose data. So we keep making the same mistakes over and over. So anyway, that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. And of course, the first one is, what was it like to live not just on Earth, but on Mars, before the Great War of the Fall? And this you know, you don't think of it as just as a civilization or civilizations that are rapidly approaching war, which they were. But this was a really advanced civilization. And in the Kardashev scale, you could say that they would both be somewhere between type 1 and type 2 civilizations, you know, and in a very real way. And I think Maxie, you or Lee, or maybe Chaos, you can maybe correct me on this, but I think in the manga, they were actually considering interstellar space flight, but they figured it wasn't worth the effort. Am I right about that?
I seem to remember something about that, but I can't remember if the colony ships that they built were for in-system or if they were intending to go out of system with them.
They were intending to go out system.
All the way out.
Okay.
So they had already got to the point to where they were going to do fast interstellar travel. Now, you know, we have interstellar travel today. It's just slow. You know, I mean, if you think about the Voyager,
really slow.
Exactly. You know, it takes hundreds.
Slower than production on the Alita sequels.
Is that possible?
100,000 years for the sequel. So, but
no, look, they're working on new drive technologies, and there's mumblings about breakthroughs, but nothing's physical yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
your topic, Creaky, is good, but it's a bit muddy because the background between the movie and the manga are completely different.
Yeah, they are.
Which makes it very difficult to generalize, because which background are you generalizing on?
Well, we're going to try to generalize the best we can.
Can we de-canon these special features on the DVD?
But be that as it may, one of the things about the civilization that existed, they were able to construct, you know, craft, you know, space stations, the space elevator. They were able to do that in orbit. You know, we can't do that today. I mean, we can on a very limited scale. Oh, looks like we lost Chaos. So anyway, we are able to do it on a very limited scale, like when they maybe add something to the International Space Station or something like that. But I'm talking about actually building from the ground up, you know, some kind of orbital platform. You know, they can in this fictional world, they're able to do that. And of course, today we have cybernetic augmentation. We have that. You know, I mean, it's compared to what we would see in the 26th century in Alita's world, it would be very primitive. You know, I mean, it's I'm sorry, Vladdy?
It's getting there. Tilly Lockie started her podcast, by the way. You should all check it out. It reminded me of Tilly, what you were just talking about.
What's the name of the podcast, Vladdy?
Tech with Tilly or something like that. Something snappy like that. Let me just check.
Okay, well, you can put it in the private chat, and then I'll put it in the public chat. But anyway, in the 26th century in Alita's world, or what would it be, Maxie, the 25th century in the manga or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, the manga has a 200-year gap between Alita.
Tilly Talks Tech, sorry.
Yeah.
It's called Tilly Talks Tech, and she does all the editing and stuff too, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Shall I put a link somewhere?
But cybernetics in the 26th century or 25th, if you want to, you want to go that route, with
at the very hundreds of years in the future.
Yeah, it'd be they are able to directly interface, like neurons, the nerves, with some of these nanotech systems. We don't have that today. I mean, today's cybernetics. I mean, I think I saw somewhere they have eyes, artificial eyes that kind of helps people see.
Yeah, they've got artificial eyes, artificial ears, and they've even got prototype prosthetics with sense of touch. Yeah,
but it's very primitive to what we would see in the 26th century, or the 25th century, like in Alita's world.
Yeah, the cybernetics they have in Alita's time are capable of not only fully integrating with an organic body, but also working as naturally alongside the brain as an organic limb.
Yeah.
And can seamlessly take the place of a missing limb.
Now, here's something that wasn't mentioned in the manga, but I assume that they probably have this. And this is where the creek is going out on the limb. So Lee, Maxie, or Vladi, you can jump on me on this. But I do believe that in the 26th century, even though it's not mentioned in the manga, that they, or 25th century, that AI is governing them, humans at some point, at some level.
Well,
or at least it's not maybe in charge so much, but they do have.
It does seem to have significant influence at the very
least. Yes, indeed. Like, for instance, Arthur or Melchizedek.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very much like AI, although I don't think they call it that in the manga. But and then they had that supercomputer on, orbiting Jupiter. So I mean, it had a Zeus, that's right, yeah, and it had a kind of like a avatar or physical manifestation similar to what Melchizedek had with Arthur. It had.
So Melchizedek is a AI.
No, Melchizedek is a quantum computer that is consisted of both, computing what you would recognize as system, kind of computing, and human brains. So, it's kind of integrated.
Human brains.
Well, Lou Collins' brain is in there for one.
Yeah, there's like thousands of human brains that make up the.
And it all converges to create one big hive mind in Melchizedek.
Yeah, there uses some kind of co-processors or something.
Yeah.
And they live forever, all in that collective mind.
No, I don't think they live forever. I think they die off, which is why they have to keep renewing them, and which is why they're constantly harvesting them from the Tafarians.
Yeah. So anyway, they in Alita's world, AI is there, even though it's not specifically mentioned. It is there,
So what you got to remember is that both Edo and Nova's brains are in Melchizedek.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes. It's an implication and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's happened. It just makes me think of what's happening here with everything's going to be attached to AI. We're all going to be tracked, our faces with AI. Anytime we do anything, AI is going to know, and it's going to become part of our digital ID and stuff. It's all going to be this AI guided governance. We're going to have it here, guys, in a matter of months or even.
Oh, I don't know about that, Vladi.
We're headed that way rapidly.
Anyway, we also this civilization, which would be on the Kardashev scale, somewhere between Type 1 and Type 2. Well, they did build those colony ships, so I guess you could say they would be, probably between Type 1 and Type 2. But they have the ability to extract resources from, other planets, from asteroids and comets and stuff like that. And of course, they had huge mega cities before the fall. Now, of course, after the fall, these cities were all wiped out, with the exception of Iron City. Although I wouldn't call Iron City a mega city, it was just what survived, and it's under Zalem, or Teferis, So, and in the movie, of course, I think there was 12 of these sky cities, and only Zalem survived. So 11 of them came down, so it was, and of course, that kind of destruction on the planet, and of course, the fact that the actually, introduced a pathogen that killed off probably 90% plus of all humans, on Earth, Iron City just happened to be I guess lucky in some ways, that they survived. So, any comments, you guys?
Well, it might also be it wasn't just the pathogen, but when they came in on the final attack for the Sky Cities, there may have also been massive nuclear bombardments. And if you're familiar with the Tsar Bomba, it's the largest Russian nuclear weapon available. In fact, it's the biggest nuclear weapon on the planet today. and it's, I think, a 51 or 52 megaton yield.
Mm.
And you imagine the kind of technology they've got in the time that the movie takes place in, or even, you know, at the time of the fall.
Yeah.
And you've probably got much more powerful nuclear weapons or energy weapons or what have you available. So they might have done massive bombardments on top of that.
As they did on Mars in the movie backstory, you know, where they put that.
I mean, both planets were just wiping each other out.
Yeah, devastated for sure. You know, Badman says Marvel Zola's algorithm. What is this, Badman? Is that what they call AI or something? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm not sure.
Zola, that's a great Chelsea football player.
Okay.
I think he's referring to something to do with alternate universes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm not real familiar with that Zola's
Nothing
algorithm.
to do with tiny Italian footballers.
Yeah, that's right. Badman. I guess the movie takes place in the 26th century, but Mars Chronicles is in the 23rd century. So,
yeah, there's some significant differences.
Yeah, big time differences in the timeline there. So, but we don't care. We still love Alita, whether she's in the 26th century or the 23rd century, right?
Yep.
So anyway, any thoughts about this stuff, guys?
Let's see. Well, nothing really comes to mind immediately. It's just kind of
see what I think this is before the fall. Is that oh, here we go.
Oh, okay.
Ah, yes, okay. That Hydra used. Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I think that civilization, both on Mars and on for the movie, both Mars and Earth was a really super advanced civilization. I mean, technology. You know, I mean, we go into cities today and we're amazed at some of the technological stuff goes on, you know. And one thing that really impressed me that I think Vladi got tickled that I was impressed by, you know, the tap and go on the train. So that kind of impressed me, you know, because I don't think we have that here in Denver. Anyway.
Yeah, we have that everywhere now.
We may have it in Denver. I haven't ridden the train for a while, so I don't know, you know, but you know, if you could imagine like a super advanced sci-fi world, you know, a super advanced civilization, you know, that's just you know, it's bustling, it's, you know, thriving, it's, you know, technologically, you know, just at the pinnacle, you know, the peak of it's where it is. And then you have this war, the fall, and all that shit gets wiped out, you know, or 90% of it just gets totally obliterated, you know. And that's kind of what, before all that happened, that's what I envisioned that, you know, the civilization in the solar system was like prior to the fall.
Yeah.
Maxie,
I mean, you just look at the Berserker body that Alita has, that she got off that ship. That was, you know, 300 years prior to the movie.
Yeah.
And what its capabilities are, and you apply some of that in some way to various civilian technologies, and you can probably get a pretty good idea of just what sort of capabilities they had, even in civilian life. I mean, self-repairing clothing, maybe even vehicles that could repair themselves to at least some small extent.
Fully transforming like cyborg bodies that could be like kind of like the what's the later body called? You know, the one I'm really looking forward to seeing in live action.
The Imaginos?
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You could have well, also like Gerhard's arm, how it has the ability to shift out various tools and implements.
Yeah.
And you have like a nanotech arm that could do that without having to store multiple instruments inside of it.
Nanotech can basically do anything. It's like magic.
Yeah.
Because you can just have nanotech that just floats in the air and just create any kind of form. So yeah, it's not surprising you can create any kind of physical thing in a cyborg body.
Nanotech receivers that float in the air like a cloud of dust. constantly surveilling an entire
It's
area.
in the graphene, man. Yeah.
Well, you know what Arthur C. Clarke said? He said any
sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Yeah,
magic. That's right.
Well, and like that's referenced in Alita, isn't it? When she looks up at Zala. What holds it up? Magic?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, magic. Yeah.
Engineering.
Yeah, something much more powerful. Yeah.
Sufficiently advanced engineering is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Yeah. Like the older sciences, magic is it's all connected. It's all magic and science is the same thing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except science is based more or less on reality.
Right. There's another side to science.
Well, I don't want to like throw the cat amongst the pigeons, but just about any magic system, and they call it a system because it follows rules. Anything that follows rules is a science.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's magic science. It's not magic, like it's not snap your fingers and something happens that has no basis in reality.
Yes.
There is a system. And it's usually based on some sort of energy field. You know, like we talk about dark matter in the scientific circles, but we don't have absolute proof that it exists. It's just a theory because there's this gap in knowledge, and they filled it in with this thing called dark matter, and they think it exists, but they haven't absolutely proved it yet. Now, magic would be the same sort of thing. It's some sort of energy which enables the transformation of matter.
Yes, I literally think Rosa being in London is magic. There's this incredible Creaky, do you remember in the theatre, in the auditorium? There's this incredible octagonal sky chandelier on the roof. It looks amazing. I feel like I'm part of some like magic ritual every time I go see her in a theatre. This theatre in a way is like a ritual because it's like you play characters, you become your energy connects with it as all as one audience, and I feel like under that symbol of light it's like a big gold octagon, and it's just incredible.
Yes. Yeah, it was
so
awesome.
Yeah, I'm using that magic energy to get our sequel, guys. It's all part of the plan. Trust the plan.
All right, well, let's trust the plan then, get the sequel, buddy.
Well,
I will when the fourth time next week.
That sort of magic is anecdotal. What I'm talking about is something that can be measured and verified and understood as a system, which
mine is just like that. Just in my head.
Most magic talked about in like fantasy and isekai and all those sorts of things has a system. And if it has a system, then it's not like sort of imagination. It's a physical thing that can be measured, and therefore it's a science, because science is the study of the natural world, and if magic is part of the natural world, it's also a science. QED.
So true, Maxie.
So anyway,
and I just need some magic now for a sequel. That's what I need.
Exactly. I'm working on it. I told you.
Okay,
I'll complete my ritual next Friday, and then we'll get the sequel green light like days after. Trust the plan.
Okay. I'm trusting you.
All right, Vladi. And of course, Vladi, you're going to tell Rosa again that we all love her, right?
Definitely. I need to think about what I want to say on this final appearance, our final meeting potentially ever. If the sequels don't happen, then we're not going to see her at the Alita 2 premiere.
Well,
so this could be the last time.
I have a suggestion what you could say to her. Hi,
Go on.
how are you doing?
Well, obviously, thanks for that.
She's pretty
really helpful.
to, really.
I know, but there's a lot of things I haven't really mentioned. Like I want to mention like everyone from the subreddit loves her too and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because I'm the mod of the Alita Battle Angel subreddit.
Yeah.
And I want to pass on. I'm going to do a post today about that guy who I showed you before.
Yeah.
On the subreddit, just to say, there's 1 week left to see Rosa, and then I'm going. And does anyone have any ideas what should we say is like a big thing? I'll probably just say like, thank you, Rosa. The subreddit loves you too, as well as the Alita Army or something like that.
Well,
so Vlad, so you're telling me that you're a Reddit master, are you? You know the thing back
literally, yeah.
Cool.
What?
I'll have a talk with you after the stream because I post there advertising but not getting the image to come up with the text. It's just the text.
I always see your posts.
Well, I just want to make the image pop out rather than be as a link.
Oh, it's the link image instead of you post an image too. I didn't even know. Let me have a look.
Exactly.
Lottie, what is this? What is this YouTube thing you put in there?
Oh, I think that's Tilly Talks Tech.
That's Tilly Talks Tech.
Tilly Talks Tech. She's interviewing I think a guy with prosthetic legs.
Okay.
I think. I watched the first
Babbitt on
10
Tilly
minutes.
Talks Tech, yeah.
Yeah. I think that guy's quite famous. It's edited really well too. Tilly has done a great job.
Yeah, Tilly's good.
She's amazing.
Anyway, moving on back to the topic, Maxie, how we're Radio Chaos Cubed here.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you can imagine the civilization and the solar system prior to the Great Wall, Jesus, Gary, the Great War, the fall, a really thriving, super high-tech, advanced, sci-fi level type of civilization that goes
with interconnected mining colonies and other stuff across the system, and maybe even constant traffic between them of cargo ships and things like that.
With a solar system level network and all that kind of stuff. I mean, think about it. It would be that's super, super advanced. And then you have
the movement of materials. I mean, it was I looked up the movement of various materials and stuff through our harbors and things in just the U.S. It was on the order, I think it was tens of billions of tons every year. So you get multiple planets and colonies and stuff out across the solar system involved in that, and you've got massive amounts of movement of materials and goods going on.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have huge ships going around,
and with super advanced propulsion systems too. I mean,
in order to get to various areas in reasonable amounts of time.
Yeah. Well, think if you were. I'm going to move off this, but think if you were trying to send food to, let's say, you had a colony on Titan, which would be a moon of Saturn. If you can't move that food fast enough, it will rot before it gets there. So, I mean,
I think a good equivalent might be the old days of the old wooden ships.
Yeah.
Because you've got, sometimes taking months to move across the ocean from one continent to another. So it might be similar with the level of travel they had at that time period.
Yeah. Anyway, when the fall happened, certainly it destroyed cities, killed many, many people. And then there are three kinds of ways, and actually I would say there's a fourth way that we'll talk about as well. And Lee kind of touched on part of that, is that you would have intentional data purges that are done by individuals that maybe not wanting information to fall into enemy hands. And then you could have orbital strikes, as it says there, that would destroy data centers. And of course, you would have some kind of protocol, an AI protocol that kind of protects or locks down data to protect that. But some of that stuff wouldn't be locked down. Now, there's one other way this could also happen, is that if given that the civilization of this fictional time had these super powerful nuclear weapons, then the EMP would fry computers and destroy data on well, they wouldn't be hard drives. They'd be something more advanced.
Whatever storage medium they might have, unless it was somehow impervious to electromagnetic interference like that.
Yeah, they'd have to have some kind of shielding or something on it that would protect it, But, but I mean, when the Great War, the fall happened, what I'm saying here is that there was a lot of information that was destroyed. And the reason for that is that when we see the movie, particularly, we see technology. I mean, we certainly see cyborgs, which are advanced technology, but we also see other kinds of technology that is similar to what we have today, like lights in the house. you know, stuff like that. You know, and we, you know, like I remember if looking at Vector's office, he had ceiling lights that would pass for lights today.
Mm-hmm.
So the very low tech stuff, a lot of that, it either survived or they gradually got back to where they could, you know, produce that again, you know. So what this means is by losing all this data and some of the tech, the advanced tech, you know, was able to protect itself, let's say, or maybe stored in a way that it wasn't vulnerable to any kind of attack. Then what you would have is you would have this advanced tech, but you wouldn't have any documentation that would help you maintain it or operate it. And if you remember from the movie Alita Battle Angel, Ito told Alita after he put her in the berserker body, you didn't exactly come with a manual now, did you? So the manual is gone, you know. So I think, you know, during the war, one of the reasons that probably that the berserker body was so advanced compared to the other cyborgs is because all that information on how to build a berserker body, let's say, or how to produce one was lost. And it was kind of like what Ito told Alita, you know, it said, nobody's made this stuff since before the fall. And she said, you mean I'm 300 years old? Sweetheart, you are.
Well, there's also the possibility that some of that is intentional suppression of technology by Zalem to keep anybody from getting too powerful down there.
Yeah, that's
because I imagine that Zalem does have, and probably the city on the other end of the space elevator has extensive records from before the fall. Not, you know, complete or anything, but probably extensive.
Yeah, pretty good subset anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they wouldn't want people in Iron City to have the same tech that they have.
Yeah.
You know, if you remember, there was that on the DVD extras, one of the things that Zalem gave the people on the ground was enough tech for them to survive, but not everything they had.
Yeah.
So anyway, any other thoughts, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Which bullet point are we on?
All of them. No particular.
Oh, okay. We're summarizing the whole slide.
Yeah, no particular one. Yeah. By the way, if anybody wants to come on and argue with us, here's the link. You just click on that. We'll bring you in. So, Maxie, you're the Pope. What is your thought?
Sorry. I was just going to say, are the data centers like our AI data centers that they're building?
No, they're probably something far more advanced.
Much more advanced.
Like, yeah, but these new ones are like, they're classed as like government utilities. They're like special security and stuff, the AI data centers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are, but they're still 540 years behind the movie, at least the fictional, you know. So
it's just interesting how it's like as important as energy, the AI infrastructure.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the energy that we have now. The AI data centers are putting together have to be hooked into the regular power grid. But you look at what they had technology-wise in that era, and you've got cyborg bodies with micronized fusion reactors running them. Or in the case of the bodies, you know, micronized antimatter reactors. So they probably don't even need to bother with hooking it into the civilian power grid. You could have buildings with their own internal power supplies, for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at how sort of self-contained the power systems are for the cyborg bodies, and you could apply that to everything.
Well, Ito did say that Alita's antimatter microreactor heart would power Iron City for years.
Yeah, and then you do something like that and put a microreactor like that in every building. And you could have thousands of years worth of power for the entire city.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to have a blackout either because the power grid is completely decentralized.
Yeah.
Knock out one building, everything else is still fine.
Yeah. You know, back in the old days, back when electricity was first being played with by folks like Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison and so forth. One of the ways they powered houses, I remember the very first house to ever be wired was J.P. Morgan's house. And he had a generator that would power his house because they didn't have electrical grid back in those days.
Yeah, they didn't have a central power supply for the city or community to draw power from.
And they built, or he had built an electrical generator that would power his house, you know, light bulbs in his house, you know. Yeah. So they, it's kind of like going back to that time, except with more advanced, you know, technology like an antimatter microreactor heart or some kind of super miniature power source, you know, that that would supply enough power for a building, like Lee was saying, for, you know, a years, you know, whatever, you know. So yeah. But anyway, those are 3 and possibly 4 reasons why data was lost because of the fall. Not just because the bombs blew the data centers up, which they did, you know, but, you know, there are other ways that people would delete data, you know, because they didn't want to fall in enemy hands.
Or hide it away in some fashion.
Hide it in such a way that, you know, and maybe they hide it and then these individuals get killed and nobody knows the data's there, you know, or something like that, you know. So, you know, that the Great War, the fall in the movie, obviously, and the manga. I actually didn't call it the fall in the manga, did they, Maxie? I can't remember.
I don't think they had a fall in the manga.
In the manga, they had what was called a geocatastrophe.
Yeah,
I think they had more than one, didn't they?
Well, it was a flow-on effect. So the asteroid hit the Earth, and then it threw up a lot of dust into the atmosphere, and that caused what they would call a nuclear winter.
Yeah.
Basically, it just cut down on the amount of sunlight getting to the Earth's surface, which then killed the crops, and killed the trees, which then killed the ecosystems, and everything went to shit.
Yeah. Yep, everything turned to shit then, didn't it?
Yes, and of course everything got really cold, and there were vampires, V mutants running around eating people, and it was not great.
Victor and Karula, right?
Yeah. And well, there was a few others, but they were the main ones. But you were asking me earlier, and then Vladdy jumped in, so I didn't get a chance to comment. But what people don't understand is that our whole digital infrastructure is very what they
delicate.
call lightweight. It's and it's very easy to damage it permanently. Now, I was just having a conversation last night with a friend of mine who's been on the stream once or twice, Doc Joe Sweeney, and he was talking about how the American government put pressure on Google, Microsoft, and what was the other one? Amazon, to remove the credentials of now I'm trying to remember the name of the international organization, but basically that particular international organization lost all their digital credentials overnight because the US government said these people aren't doing what we want, remove their credentials from all of your services. And suddenly they couldn't send emails, they couldn't use telephones, they lost all their data, everything was gone.
Well, I would say,
and that was just from pressure from one government to companies that, you know, are based in their territories.
Well, I would say, Maxie, if people followed the principles of my profession, business resilience, then they can maybe protect themselves, protect their data, along with their business.
Well, it's getting so complicated now that the entirety of the EU is planning to go away from Microsoft. They're just basically saying, you know, Microsoft is under US law, but operating in their environments, which their laws are different. But Microsoft still is under the pressure of those laws, so they end up defaulting to those laws and not following the laws in the EU, which means that basically the EU cannot use Microsoft to run their systems anymore, so they're moving away from it. It's taking time, but basically they're looking for local alternatives because it's just not legally viable to use Microsoft anymore. So the whole thing about data sovereignty, which basically means, you know, keeping important data in your country, just doesn't work because of the way US law is overriding international law. And so all of these big US companies are going to lose a lot of traction across the world because, you know, the US government has shown that they're quite prepared to screw over anybody digitally who doesn't do what they want. And everybody's going, well, fuck that. I don't want that anymore. So there's going to be this huge shift in technology and digital sovereignty in the next few years. We're going to be seeing a lot of other countries, including Australia, basically going, well, we can't justify working with these companies because they could screw us at any time, on the word of one government, which is not our government. So we're going to have to find ways to do it on our own. So basically it's going to go from world economy to fractured economy because of these things that are going on at the moment, and things are going to change significantly.
Well, I know Europe has got that General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, that kind of is a step in that direction, I think. So,
yeah, but the sort of the upshot from that is that we're going to go from a unified sort of world data organization to completely fractured, and it's been suggested that if this sort of thing continues and it goes from affecting multinational organizations to affecting governments, that said governments are just basically going to outlaw US companies' products within their borders, within their digital internet of their country. And if those companies have data centers, physical data centers within those countries, that they're going to be nationalized. They're going to be taken out of the hands of the corporations and nationalized and reworked for those countries because, you know, if you screw us, we screw you kind of mentality. And it could lead to, you know, World War III because of the sort of shit that's going down at the moment. So it's things are looking way more delicate than they have for a long time. It's quite concerning.
Well, maybe in 9 months this will be taken care of, but I'm going to move away from that.
Well, it is like, you know, everybody thinks that, you know, pointing nuclear weapons at each other is the worst thing, but not necessarily, because that's sort of like a flip the switch and all the lights go out kind of thing. But it's more the everyday stuff that, you know, like I rely on Google on a daily basis. I don't use Microsoft nearly as much as I used to, but, you know, if Google suddenly said, all your data, you don't have access to it anymore, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
That screwed me up. So, you know, it's not the sort of thing you want to see happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are a bit volatile at the moment. Of course, when all these American companies start, you know, this digital warfare or economic warfare against other countries, then China is going to step in and start filling the voids, and sort of these US companies, and hence US is going to lose a lot of traction across the world because, you know, they've basically screwed the pooch and pissed everybody off, and everybody's going to go elsewhere. Companies like Samsung, they will be releasing updates to their phones so that they're no longer tied to Google and, you know, other US companies that are doing these things. And the whole sort of tech sector is going to shift away from the US, because the US pretty much relies on their tech sector to keep them afloat at the moment, and it's going to get messy if this continues.
Agreed. Anyway, I'm gonna bring it back to Alita.
Well, why I was talking about that is because we kind of take our everyday technological society for granted, like it'll always be there and everything will work happily. But no, that's not the case at all. Everything's on a very thin wire, and that wire could snap at any time.
Too much of the everyday stuff that we take for granted is in the hands of people who are kind of doing their own thing, and it's not necessarily going to be in line with what we want.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of these people are so rich that there's just the everyday is completely alien to them. They can use money to get anything. Well, they think they can, and they stop caring about how that's going to affect the rest of the world. They're no longer part of society. They're, entities unto themselves. And then they start doing things that upset the apple cart, and then we all suffer for that. But it could be that we don't need a geocatastrophe. We're just going to have a catastrophe of our own through, this whole thing of, the digital world order kind of thing that's developed over the past 30 years is going to strangle itself, and then everything's going to fracture. And once things fracture and that free movement of everyday information ends, which it could very well happen, then the world is going to stagnate, because we're no longer going to have that sharing of scientific information and political information and all the sorts of things that's kind of been keeping the world stable for the past 30, 40 years. And then we're going to go back to the sort of a digital dark age of everybody being separate, and it could end up that I won't be able to talk to you guys across the world anymore, because all those networks that we've been relying on every day that we use to communicate with friends across the world and all that sort of will just cease to exist. All those links will be broken, and we'll be back to, well, you can talk to people in your own country, but we don't trust anybody else kind of business. And it could easily happen, which would be a real shame.
Yep.
And if it worst case scenario, then we could end up in a digital dark age, and things could get very difficult on the daily, and that could be another way that society eats itself, and we end up with a post-apocalyptic future like Alita. So, I mean, there's more than one way to screw the pooch as far as the world is concerned. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Well, bringing it back to Alita.
But I just did.
Yeah, you did. But anyway, not everything was destroyed. Some technologies survived because they weren't maybe hooked up to a larger system. In other words, they were decentralized. And of course, the Berserker body, we see an example of self-repairing there, because the nanites, were actually, would repair the Berserker body, in the event that he got injured, or maybe some attack, maybe kind of like Gruishka, puncturing Alita's side with the grind cutters, and within like 10 seconds it was repaired. Of course, cyborg bodies themselves, they are. I think there's a plus and minus here.
Definitely.
Yeah, cyborg bodies are probably more hardened. They're probably able to, withstand, more punishment, I guess you could say, than a human body. But they also wear out, and they are susceptible to different kinds of threats that, say, a human body wouldn't be. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's better. I'm just saying it'd be different. And of course, they're in the case of, particularly with brain chips, they would be susceptible to any kind of electromagnetic.
Strong magnetic field could do something.
Yeah, could mess up, the neural net, that's in their brains or in their bodies, And for some, particularly with the self-repairing thing, and in the case of where Alita found the Berserker body in the ship, it was kind of, removed, that body wasn't accessible to everybody, so Alita got in there and got the Berserker body. And, that's why, since it wasn't connected to any kind of grid, and it was kind of, it wasn't easily accessible to other people on the planet, the Berserker body survived. I mean, because had Nova, let's say, got into the ship in the movie and found that Berserker body, then it would have been a whole different ball game, I think.
Yeah.
So,
but I think a combination of the poisons in the water as well as the security systems on board the ship kept people out.
yeah.
I remember the novelization, Tanji said something about he had no intention of swimming in that lake because there was no telling what kind of crap was leaching out of that wreck.
Yeah, possibly cyborg bodies are hardened against EMP there, bad man, that's for sure. And certainly you would want that. Well, you would certainly want that in the antimatter microreactor, because if you disrupted that and that antimatter came in contact with the matter in the heart, itself, where in other words, there's like a little magnetic bubble that keeps it separate, and that got disrupted, just the very few grams that Alita would have in her antimatter microreactor heart came in contact with actual matter, it would be like a nuclear bomb kind of explosion, that would probably wipe out Iron City and probably severely damage Zalem, for that matter. So, and they had like
that right there is one of the big reasons I do not like the idea of an antimatter microreactor. I mean, it just seems, when put in that light, it just seems like a monumentally stupid idea.
Well, it's certainly,
to be quite honest,
the risk is extremely high, with that one.
Yeah, because even with shielding, EMP shielding, you can only shield something so much, and the smaller it is, the less you can shield it.
Yeah.
So something about human size subjected to a massive nuclear detonation, like something twice the size of a SAR bomba, let's say 100 megatons. The amount of EMP radiation you're going to get hit by, especially if you're close enough, you're probably not really going to be able to shield that body that size against that much.
Yeah.
And having an antimatter microreactor in the mix in a soldier's body like that just really does not seem like a smart.
Well, think of a glitch too that would happen in the controlling subsystem that actually regulates or manages the antimatter microreactor heart, and it has some kind of glitch or some kind of design flaw, or maybe even if it,
or not even that. I mean, weapons fire.
Yeah.
If you get hit dead center and it cracks the reactor,
you're done.
Not just you, the entire area is done.
Yes.
The battlefield is glassed.
Yeah.
Just from one soldier dying.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just idiotic to me.
And that was part of the suicide thing too, wasn't it, Maxie? I mean, the Berserker could do that suicide.
I do agree with Lee. It's a weapon system with a huge tactical flaw. If you want to keep the area that you're attempting to take over with the military action. Now, in an attacking scenario, if you didn't give a shit about what's the word I'm looking for? Collateral damage, even to your own troops, then it's not a big deal. If you were attacking and you're in somebody else's space and you didn't really care what happened to it, you just wanted to wipe them out, then this sort of a weapon system could possibly have a logical use, but you would never use berserkers on a defensive strategy, because if one of them blew up, it would take
you just
a huge
lost the
chunk of
entire
your
thing
area.
that you're defending. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yes, so it would be attack only. It would never be defense, and it would have to be attack on something where your goal was to wipe them out, not to take land or take over another country or another area, annexing sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, at least with the microfusion reactors they were talking about in the manga, if they're anything like the real world Taurus reactor that we've been messing with, I can't remember which university has been testing it. I think it might be somewhere in England or something. But every time they've had a rupture in the magnetic field and the plasma got out, it just shut the reactor down, because as soon as the plasma field touched the reactor wall, it just cooled off and stopped working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Kishiro, well, not Kishiro's imagination, because he didn't come up with the antimatter microreactor, but the whole, you know, I don't know that they used science advisors when they came up with that one.
Well, antimatter microreactor sounds really cool.
Yeah,
it is extremely bad idea to use in practice.
Yeah. Well, doing a risk assessment on it would be.
Yes, exactly. And Creaky knows all about risk assessments, and it would fail.
Yeah, it would be horrible.
It would fail.
Well, you would have to have, on something like this too, you would have to have like some kind of redundant system set up multiple, because if one fails, if you only had one controlling system, let's say, this is not counting on this is not even considering, you know, maybe the heart gets damaged by weapons fire or something like that, but just a glitch in the software, you know.
Well, antimatter is the most dangerous thing there is.
Yes.
To a universe of matter, because the two, if antimatter ever escapes, it annihilates with the nearest matter and creates a stupid amount of energy. Now, you know, that it's nice to have a lot of energy available, or, you know, effectively unlimited source of energy, but
not when it's uncontrolled.
That's right. The moment you lose control, it's over. For, you know, I don't know how much antimatter's in the heart. I don't know how big a reaction area it would create when it annihilated with matter. And of course, you know, outside of the magnetic field, the magnetic bottle, as they call it, that it would be stored inside the heart, you know, there's matter. There's matter everywhere. So the moment something happened to like, even if the magnetic field fluctuated slightly, bad things could very easily happen. And, you know, even presuming we could, it would be a case of we shouldn't, because of all the downsides.
Well, it could also be a case if they did it once, well, that's all the times they're going to get. They're only going to get the chance to do it once.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't talk about future technology, but it is really hard to generate any sort of viable amount of antimatter.
Yeah.
As far as we understand it at the present time. I'm not sure if, I remember reading something about it, and they said that they create one particle of antimatter and then it's gone milliseconds later.
It's like the antimatter that we create in the real world just kind of evaporates.
Yeah.
It bumps into another, like a positron, and it's gone. So actually getting it together in the first place would have to have some sort of serious scientific advancement to actually generate a decent amount of antimatter. I mean, that's another thing that was sort of like Star Trek hand wavium, when they're talking about using antimatter to power their starships. It'd be easier to use a microsingularity to power starships like the
Romulans.
Like the Romulans. The ideas of that technology are easier than trying to use antimatter annihilation for power, just because the stuff is so hard to manage, so hard to deal with. Any fluctuation in the magnetic bottle, and you know, it gets out and it's over.
It's over for you and everybody in the surrounding area for no telling how far out, because in Alita's case, the energy in her antimatter microreactor heart could power a city like Iron City for, like Ito said, years. That is a ton of energy.
Now you get a platoon of 40 berserkers together.
Yeah.
And that's 40 antimatter microreactors spreading out to the battlefield.
That's a planetary destruction level event, is what that is.
That half of the planet's going to get glassed.
Yeah.
And it's a waste of effort too. when a soldier goes into the battlefield, they have a certain amount of ammunition, and like non-ammunition weapons like knives and stuff. And once they've worked their way through that, even if they're still alive, they're pretty much useless. So creating a power source for a cyborg that's going to last hundreds of years is actually wasteful.
Overkill.
Yeah, it's an overkill because functionally you're not going to use it. And certainly Alita, as a functional cyborg warrior, she had most of her body blasted away at some point. And then she sat there for hundreds of years and the power supply was still going. And it's a case of, well, that's over-engineering to the extreme.
Yeah. I think the idea of an antimatter microreactor was just, it sounded really cool technology-wise.
Yeah, let's do one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When all you really need is a very advanced microfusion reactor.
Exactly. Microfusion makes a whole lot more sense because you can start it up and slow it down. And, sure, the material that you need to provide the reactor to react, so fission is a problem because it's radioactive, but fusion isn't a problem because it's just combining atoms together and making bigger atoms and releasing energy as you do it. But
in the manga,
the
there's
environment you need to do.
Deuterium, I think it was, for fuel.
Yeah, deuterium.
Oh, yeah. But the whole point is that if you're going to create a system for power for individual soldiers, you're not going to spend that much money on it because it's overkill. And you could spend that money in other ways that made them more effective.
Yeah.
But B, it's completely unsafe. A failure of the containment.
I think completely unsafe is a gross understatement.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think it was mainly the rule of cool is
Yes,
behind the antimatter microreactor.
It sounds cool, yeah.
But you ask any safety compliance officer or scientist or anybody with any sort of knowledge about the theory of what this thing could do, and they would say, nope, nobody would ever consider this.
Yeah.
You just need one accident and it's done. Sorry.
That brings us to this. What we shouldn't have built or what they shouldn't have built.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly the antimatter microreactor heart would be one of those things.
Yeah.
It's just to wrap up the previous slide. There's a line in Jurassic Park, and it basically goes along the lines of just because we could doesn't mean that we should.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the what was it? The chaos theorists? Chaos?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jeff Goldblum's character.
Yes.
He was like, you were so wrapped up in whether or not you could, you never stopped to think whether or not you should.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it comes down to that.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, in the Alitaverse, the solar system civilization was like super advanced, over 500 years more advanced than we are today.
Yes, Ian Malcolm, that's who it was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Bad Man. It's good to have the professor in the chat and the Pope in the stream. So anyway, nanotech.
Complimentary.
Nanotech weaponry capable of rewriting matter. Now, I don't know what that would involve, but
well, I think one idea would be you use some sort of nanotech disassemblers, hit an enemy warship with a warhead filled with them, and they basically start taking the ship apart at the molecular level.
Yeah. And of course, any kind of hybrid between humans and machines or cyborgs. Now, that one I'm not. I mean, if you could regulate that, I'm not so down on that second bullet because people like Tilly is an example.
Yeah, there's a lot of medical applications for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't go overboard and create these, monsters or something like that. Then,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that could benefit from that sort of thing.
Which is what Ito told Sheeran, I won't help you build monsters, so that's part of that second bullet there as well, And of course, have an AI that's totally autonomous. You know,
I think there's a video game that I think is a really good portrayal of autonomous war AIs
yeah,
sort of going off on their own, even after their human command chain of command has been killed off, is a game called The Forever Winter. And it's really grimdark. You've got all these AIs that are basically waging war against one another. And it started with human governments going to war, but the human governments got wiped out by the weapons involved.
yeah,
And the AIs are still there, and they're still following their last commands.
yeah. That's pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, any AI that's self-evolving. Now we don't have AI today that's self-evolving. That doesn't mean that we can't develop something. As a matter of fact, there's an AI I've been seeing. There's a guy on YouTube. Oh gosh, Kyle Hill, who had put out a video about super intelligent AI. He said the moment we build something like that, or a super intelligent AI, that's when humanity, the existential threat to humanity, becomes a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, buddy. And of course, anything that manipulates gravity. Now we don't have any kind of technology that does that, you know. But
yeah,
to me, you know, these are examples, with the exception of that second bullet. I think that this falls in that area you were talking about, Lee. Just because you can or you could develop something, you should consider whether you should build it, you know, because they're not tools at this point. They're threats. And if something gets out of hand, it's kind of like in World War II. There's a story that the scientists were not sure that when they detonated a nuclear weapon, if it wouldn't cause a chain reaction all over Earth and just completely destroy
it would ignite the some element of the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it just would wipe out life on Earth. You know,
and the leadership decided to do it anyway, even though they didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds typical.
Well, it was the same with activating CERN. There was a group that theorized that activating such a large cyclotron would generate a microsingularity, which could destroy the Earth.
And they did it anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because humans are very good at sucking it and seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a Neuralink would be a forbidden technology or not, bad man. I mean, it's probably like any other technology. I mean, you can abuse it to the point where it becomes a threat. But
I think Neuralink may become an element of cybernetics. In order to interface with our brain, it's going to have a Neuralink type system. Yeah. The problem is that what Neuralink would also allow very evil people to do some really, really terrible things.
Yeah.
But that's true of, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Problem with technology, the more advanced it gets, the easier it is for somebody somewhere with some really nefarious plans to do some really terrible shit.
Yeah.
In both Cyberpunk and Shadowrun, the idea was that the ends of the human nerves would connect to the cybernetic edition through an interface, which was the crux of the matter. Getting nerves to talk to circuits has always been if we could solve this, we could actually do it. And they
would need some kind of translator.
Yeah, some sort of link between the two. And rather than connecting it directly into your brain or putting technology into your brain that then talk to the cyberware, it's a case of you use your nervous system up to the point where it ends to send the messages, and then the messages are transferred to the electronics, and then they control the mechanics of that cyber limb or whatever it happens to be. And that was sort of the basic start. But then, of course, all of these things sort of evolve and flower off, and then you get things that are connecting into the nervous system and helping it run faster and doing all these other things. And then
in Cyberpunk, they called that a neural coprocessor.
Yeah, and then you get things that attached to the brain and allow it to do extra things like extra storage and all this sort of stuff, targeting systems and things that aren't replacing the human equivalent, but actually theoretically improving on human abilities through technology. And they're the scarier things because they're connecting right into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Man's kind of agreeing with you there on that one, Lee.
Oh yeah, they're highly untrustworthy and highly unreliable humans.
Especially in the wrong hands, it could be pretty bad.
That's the problem. All the so-called ruling class appear to be the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Well, you know, to make the sort of money to join the ruling class, you have to stomp people and use
you
them.
have to have no humanity, no empathy, no morals, and no qualms about hurting a lot of people very badly.
What is this empathy thing of which you speak?
Exactly.
Don't get me started.
You see, I'm being very general about things.
Yes, and I appreciate that. Now, of course, what we have here is a representation of, I guess, Nova, you know, on the right. And then if you remember a stream we did some time ago, the guy on the left, Professor Varellin, I guess, in the kind of the lore that we put together, because it didn't really say who developed the berserker body and the antimatter microreactor heart. So we just came up with this. We just invented somebody. But this kind of speaks to what we were talking about a while ago. Certain individuals, you know, like that are in corporations, in the military chain of command, maybe even some, you know, autonomous AIs, you know, and crime syndicates and stuff like this. These are people that if they have control of the information, then it can have a detrimental effect on society because, you know, it doesn't get out to society. They can destroy beneficial information and so forth. So, you know, people, it's kind of what you were saying a while ago, Lee, that it seems like some of our elites right now are these kind of people that, you know, that we don't really need them to be in control. If you get my drift, you know, without me getting too specific. So, yeah, there are a number of someones. That's right, Maxie. There's a bunch of them, you know, and of course, Lee. There's a lot of them. Yeah. So
now, one example would be the CEO of Nestle. I remember some years ago, I don't know if you guys remember it, there was an article in which he was quoted in it was either an interview or some meeting or something like that. And he was basically saying that water is not a human right. The thing that we are like 60 to 70% composed of and required to survive was not a human right, according to this guy.
He's full of shit.
Yes, and he's a perfect example of what I'm describing.
Well, there is battles. I mean, there were for some period. I'm not sure where it stands now, where access to water is a big political deal in some countries. You know, where you know, people go to war over that shit. You know. CEO of Nestle.
I would not be surprised in the least.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and two, when you think of this too, another thing, now this is a little off the track here, but think about, you know, the food we eat. You know, I mean, there are like chemicals, not maybe necessarily chemicals, things like saturated fat, too much sugar.
Oh, an excellent example would be a number of foods that are widely available here in America that are outlawed overseas.
Yes.
Because they are not, they don't meet the classification in those countries of food.
Yes. That's right. You know, a good example would be like eating McDonald's. Well, no, I don't want to say anything bad about a company, but eating hamburgers. You know, and that's the staple of your diet. Hamburger.
Well, Kraft American cheese. It's described in the package as a processed cheese-like substance, basically.
Yes. That is detrimental to your health. But the people that are running the companies don't care.
Mhm.
They're making money.
Philip Morris, another excellent example.
Yeah.
I mean, they were basically caught making cigarettes more addictive and getting away with it, basically. They knew they were causing cancer in a number of their customers, but as long as the money rolled in, they really didn't care.
Yeah. Well, it's like, even veggie burgers. Now, from a health standpoint, they're not as bad as hamburgers, but even they have saturated fat in them. So
Well, they got some other stuff in them too. It
yeah,
turns out.
it won't clog your arteries, but it might get you some other way.
Mhm.
Perhaps,
Yeah, any ultra processed foods got some serious downsides to it.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of ultra processed foods in American diets.
Yeah.
People tell you the same thing about Brussels sprouts.
Mm.
Serious downsides.
Well, Maxie, does Australia, does your food sources, they have a lot of processed foods, or?
Oh yeah, there's no shortage of them down here. There are some pretty dangerous things that are put into food in the US that we will not use here, such
For good
as
reason.
yeah. It's the I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's basically sucrose from corn.
Oh, is it corn syrup? High
corn
fructose
syrup.
corn syrup?
Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's in
That's-
everything over here.
That is bad for you.
It's super bad.
Yeah.
And we won't use it here. But it was focused on a few years back. That it was horrific for the human diet, and it's in everything in the US. Like shit.
Mhm. Yeah, all those poisons that the other countries outside of the U.S. don't allow in their food, we can't get away from it here
Yeah.
because it's in everything.
You do need to really read the ingredients list and be very picky.
Well, I did read the ingredients lists, which is
I
how
do
I
too.
found out it's in everything.
I read labels all the time. Yep. It helps, but yeah.
Oh, another more recent example too would be Monsanto and their Roundup scandal.
Yes.
Oh yeah. The big problem with the chemicals that were being used is they were killing bees, which are absolutely a necessity for pollinating a lot of our food crops, let alone collecting honey and all the other things that they do. And it's just scary that these things are known and they still go ahead with them without any concern for the.
Yeah. I recently found out another thing that Nestle did in Africa regarding their baby formula. This was, I think, back in the 1950s. It was decades ago, but that would be another good example of just how far removed from the rest of us the people in charge of these mega corporations are.
I don't know, AKA a bee population.
Actually, from last I heard, they have been recovering.
Yeah, they've been recovering at a slow rate, but yeah.
Bees got a double dose because not only did they cop it from Monsanto, but there's a pathogen, a bee pathogen.
I think it was a parasite that they can get.
That was
kind of a
wiping
mite.
out colonies.
Yeah.
And that was a huge issue. In fact, there was quite a while there, like maybe a decade or so, where bees were being imported from Australia.
Because importing
other
another
countries.
species of creature from a different environment can never go wrong.
Yes, cane toads.
That's why those bees have been saying good day to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have what they call native bees, and then we have imported bees, which were the ones that were brought in to collect honey and pollinate the crops that we brought in with us when Australia was colonized. So, I mean, all of these things sort of end up mixing together, but Australia's done a lot of hard work to try and keep the bee parasites out. I think there's been a few outbreaks in Australia in recent years, but many decades we were bee parasite free which made us a prime source for exports of bees to other places in the world that were having problems with their bees being wiped out. So.
Would you agree with that statement? Alita is a living archive.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
To a degree, unfortunately, she's got so much amnesia
Yeah.
that unless it clears up to a greater degree, she doesn't really have a lot of old knowledge to share, at least not just yet.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say in the movie, but certainly in Last Order, and this is a big spoiler for Last Order if you haven't read it, but she does get all her memories back eventually.
Yeah. Well, in that case, yeah, definitely.
People like Doc Eo could reverse engineer perhaps the Berserker body, maybe. You know, and of course,
well, if he's got the technology to even study it properly.
Yeah.
I mean, considering how advanced it is, he may not even have the tools to study it the way he would need to.
Yeah, he was probably shooting in the dark, connecting her core to it. He's just guessing, you know, which he evidently guessed pretty well, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he's a genius in that.
I expect Badman to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the reason Alita gets all her memories back is because they're basically extracted when her brain's turned into a brain chip, and that's how she actually manages to get at them again. I think that's what happened. But
seems like
obviously the fact that there are two Alitas, one with a biological brain who ends up with a biological body at the end of Last Order, and android Alita, basically AR0, who we follow through Last Order. You know, they're different people, and they've got different situations from the divergence point. So,
yeah, it's similar to like being twins, isn't it, Maxie? I mean, except one certainly in this case more of a cybernetic, you know, kind of being. But yeah, I mean, they don't share consciousness. In other words.
No. Well, I'm still interested. I must admit, I've still got a bit of Mars Chronicle to read, but I'm not sure that Kishiro ever got back to the current storyline, which was, you know, on Mars after Alita had been to Venus, and what was happening there. But, you know, that's android Alita. It's not biological brain Alita. So.
And of course, human Alita, I think we talked about this, you know, during the last stream, or it might have been during the recording, which Maxie, we're going to have to do another one, by the way. Yeah, she maybe have a couple of kids with figure 4 and then say, I don't really like this human body. It's too fragile. Put me back in a cyborg body. You know, I think we had that kind of discussion, didn't we?
We did. That is my expectation.
Yeah. Suppressed, yeah, I guess so. Probably some is lost though, Badman, because she was asleep for 300 years in the movie.
That's the thing. She didn't suffer any brain damage.
Yeah, that's right.
And typically, amnesia is not a permanent state of being. Typically.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you're wrong. She suffered brain damage when her brain got exploded by the baby bomb.
Oh,
then yes, I'm talking about when she got recovered in the scrap heap.
Yeah,
later on she does suffer some catastrophic brain damage.
Not just brain damage, catastrophic all body damage. So
sudden unplanned disassembly of the brain.
That's exactly right. So yeah, her not being just a survivor but a primary source, I mean, that's evident in the movie. Particularly, she is the only cyborg of her kind. And remember what Vector told Gerwishka, she is the last of her kind. You know, I mean, yeah, she's the peak, you know, of cyborg technology. You know, I mean, she's at the very top of the food chain in that area. You know, so
yeah.
So yeah, I think she's a living archive, and if you had the proper tools, you could reverse engineer maybe the Berserker body. But I think you're right, Lee. I don't think Ito has that has the tool set.
Nova probably does up on
Zala. Nova does for sure. As a matter of fact, we probably do. He does, because remember he made those Imaginos cells based on the Berserker cells. So he derived, the Imaginos cells based on what he knew about Berserker cells. So he knew how to reverse engineer the Berserker body.
It's probably why in the movie he wanted her microreactor heart, because of the technological secrets that were held by it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he would be able to unravel them with the technology he had at his disposal.
Yeah. All right. Are humans going to make the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over, no matter what?
Yes.
Yeah, we are. We will.
We won't make all of them, but certainly we will repeat a few.
And we might put some
very bad ones.
imaginative twists on some of them.
Yes.
That's right.
And of
We're
course,
nothing if not imaginative in our self-destruction.
and of course, no, I'm not going to say it. Never mind.
Were you about to get political?
Yeah, I was about to get a little political, but I'm not going to do it. I want to keep Alita away from that.
Good
So, and I think that second bullet speaks to what we were talking about a while ago. Alita found that Berserker body, and of course, I guess Ito understood enough to where he could successfully integrate her into that body. So, and of course, new powers from old knowledge. I think that depends on whether Alita is going to remember everything. And of course, if she does remember everything, she will know all the powers that the Berserker body has. And certainly that's not going to be the same as the Imaginos body for sure. So what does this mean? Go ahead. Somebody going to say something?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard somebody was going to say something. So anyway, given the fact that human beings make the same dumbass decision, and I'm not going to say any more than that, over and over and over, what does that mean for not just 26th century culture? What does it mean for the future, of humanity? We keep making the same mistakes. What does that mean?
We're screwed.
We're dumbasses. I don't know.
Yeah, we're dumbasses. Yeah,
I'm going to disagree a little bit with Badman. Our ability to learn is actually very good. We're excellent at learning. The problem is we don't have the wisdom not to engage in the kinds of activities that continue to result in the same kind of mistakes over and over again.
And we don't engage critical thinking.
Yeah. We tend to let our fears and our basic fears and greed drive our decision making to a unfortunate extent.
Yes. Yep. History is important there, AKA, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I just think that the whole thing with Alita, the Alita verse, the fall is an example. Think about, the two civilizations of Mars and Earth, they wipe each other out. Okay? You would think that someone who engaged critical thinking at the leadership level, and I'm going to leave it at that, wouldn't engage in an activity that runs the risk of destroying your civilization. You would think that would be their primary consideration. But in the fall, both civilizations were pretty much decimated. So did we learn from the past? No, we did not. We just made the same dumbass mistake, or at least in the fiction, in the Alita verse, the leaders made the same dumbass mistake that they made, when we went to war and other wars.
Yeah. They ignored any off-ramp, had to revenge every wrong.
Yep.
And eventually it got to the point where there was no red line they wouldn't cross.
Yes. Well, there are a lot of classes that aren't taught in school anymore, like civics.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something else that
Yeah, I actually got to see a picture from somebody who posted online a photo of one page of a high school test that their like great grandmother had taken back in, I think, the 19th century or something.
Yeah.
And it was college level questions in a high school test.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect example of just how far we've fallen in our education system.
Yep. That's right, bad man. Maybe they can't see red. They don't recognize it.
Yep.
Oh, that's a blue flag.
Well, here's
Oh,
another
really?
example. Now, not to get political, but think about this example. You think about World War II, and then, of course, Hitler, does his thing in Europe. Isn't that a similar thing that's going on in Ukraine right now? I mean, it is, isn't it? So, I mean, to me, that leader that, I'm not going to mention any names, we all know who it is.
Very political, Creaky.
But that leader is making the same mistakes that Hitler made. So, I mean, you think, okay, guy, can we learn from the past? The answer is no, we cannot. So,
Time is a flat circle, as it said in True Detective Season 1.
Oh.
Everything repeats over and over again. We always make the same mistakes, and it just continues.
Yep, it's unfortunate. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. We covered all these things pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I need to get to bed anyways.
Well, we're going to do the call to action here in a little bit there, Lonnie.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Did we miss anything, you guys?
Nothing I can think of.
And I think I showed great restraint not getting political, didn't I, Maxie?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Very political at the end.
So anyways, you can see from that center panel there, Alita does love her Uncle Creek, and that's because he wants a sequel. And so does she, and so do we. All of us in the Alita Army. And of course, Lottie is going to be our representative on March the 6th. So that'll be good.
Oh yeah, her final show. It's going to be so emotional.
God, I wish I could go. I'm
It's going to be amazing. It's a half an hour later than the normal showing.
Yeah.
I wonder I'm sure it's going to be a bit special. Obviously, it's the final show. I wonder what they'll do differently.
I don't know.
I shall find out. I'll let you know. Shame there's no live stream next Saturday. We could have talked about it then.
Yeah, there'll be a recording next Saturday, and then on
I know.
Alita live stream, I'm just going to take one of the previous popular live streams and make it a premiere. Make a few little edits to it, and make it a premiere. So anyway, that's because I'm lifting weights again. So, but anyway, Vladi, when you're at that, you see Rosie, you tell her I said hi, will you?
I will definitely say. Does she know you as Creaky? What does she know you as?
I think she
I feel
knows.
like I have to say, you remember that guy you met from America? It's annoying. Does she not know your name? I haven't even told her my name. I want to tell her my name as well.
Well, tell her your name for sure.
I will. I don't think I did a previous time.
She knows me as Creek Indian, I think, but she knows me she knows me as Gary. She knows
Gary. Well, what shall I say when I say so and so says hi?
That's all, and I wish I could be there.
Yeah. What name do you want me to say?
Oh, Gary or Creek Indian or Creek, either one would be fine. Anyway,
I'll say both.
You maybe say all three of them. I don't know. So, all right. So anyway, Maxie, you want to talk about this one?
Hang on, give me a sec.
Oh, do you have were you working on a thumbnail there, Maxie?
Yep.
Yes, you were, weren't you, you rascal? Yep.
I was fighting with Grok for half of the stream.
That's fun.
It's another case of AIs being fettered. Remember when we had that Radio Chaos episode and I had all those images of Alita doing different jobs?
Yeah.
Which was so much fun. some of which we're still using for various things like Stormtish and stuff. That week it would do really good images of Alita, and then a couple of weeks later it was unable to do them anymore because obviously there was a copyright strike on images of Alita from the movie, and it suddenly couldn't do them anymore. Well, I had Grok do me up an image for the thumbnail a couple of weeks ago, the one for Valentine's Day, and now it won't do them anymore.
That's weird.
So had another case of it won't access those obviously copyrighted images from the movie for the basis of new images. It just refuses to do it. So I've had to go with an image from the OVA because I can't find any pictures of Hugo smiling or even vaguely smiling from the movie. So,
there's one shot where he and Alita are on the kissing bridge, aren't they?
Yeah, but he doesn't have a cybernetic body in that scene.
No, that's true.
Because I'm talking that's a special episode. I'll have to remove the SP and redo that. But basically, it's not a special episode. It's a live stream tomorrow. It'll be episode 307. Hugo and you, if Hugo had survived, how might he fit into Alita 2? And lo and behold, somebody is signed up for that episode. Guess who it is, Creaky?
Panini Freak.
Yes. So you will have to send her the link.
Send her a link. Yeah.
Yeah. So Panini Freaks are lining up for that one.
I'll send one to Random too, although she probably won't come on because she's
a little shy.
Yeah.
A little shy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
She'll probably have lots to type in the text chat, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, Panini Freak's coming back to talk about Hugo because, of course, she is. That's as a given as the sun rising in the morning. So we will be talking about how Hugo might fit into a second movie if he hadn't plummeted to his demise. Because we're not allowed to say death or killing or anything like that on YouTube. Quick, beat me out.
I guess I'll have to put in the presentation some pictures of Hugo, right? In the movie.
I guess so. So yeah, that's what it's about tomorrow. We will be talking about Hugo and how he might have fit into the second movie if he hadn't dropped off the perch, quite literally. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's our queen right there. And Lottie is a very lucky day for sure.
Lucky duck, as my grandma would say.
Yes. Yeah, my grandmother would say that. My grandmother was English. She would have said lucky duck, I think. She used to like to use that term when it rained. Lovely weather for ducks, isn't it? Or lovely day for ducks. Something like this. Anyway, so we are really fortunate that Rosa was picked as to portray Alita. In terms of being an actor, she is #1 in the Creek's book. That's for sure. And I'm not going to wax lyrical, Maxie. I'm going to go right on. And I also want to give shout outs to Eldamont and Jesse Fisher because, they brought Screwhead to life. And what I would like to see in the sequel is Alita and Screwhead team up. Screwhead's pissed that Vector conned her, and she's kind of miffed about it. So she goes to Alita and say, "Hey, girl, I'm with you. Let's burn it all down." That's what Elle said during the interview. So, of course, Elle really pulled off Screwhead very well. I mean, even without a single line of dialogue, she was a impactful character in the movie. And of course, Jessie, according to Elle, is the most badass stunt woman that she ever worked with. So, I think in that interview, didn't Angelus and I both propose to her, Jessie, didn't we, Maxie? Do you remember?
Vaguely something like that.
Something like that. She said, "Oh, I'm already engaged." And we went, "Oh, crap." But anyway, but she's great, So all three of these ladies deserve to be in a sequel. And Disney, we want a goddamn sequel. Give it to us, for Christ's sake. Stop, or as it Australians would say, crikey, give us this damn sequel. We want it. You know, we will turn our money over to you, you know, right out of our wallets and purses, right into your coffers. That's what we want to do. We will. Some people in the Elite Army will go see Alita Fallen Angel 100 times, and I'm going to be. I don't know if I'll go see it 100 times, but I'm going to see it a bunch of times. You know, what is this? Does a screwhead have a speaker built into her head, or does it play rave music? I don't think that's a speaker. Bad man. I think it was the way Elle described it. I think it was a kind of a mechanism they could use to detach her head and put it on another body or something like this. I think is what it was.
Or something to do with some kind of neural implant or something.
Yeah,
like that.
or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, all three of these ladies, we want them in that sequel. A dubstep, yes. And of course, we got the Stammtisch after party. You know, if you want to come and join us, here's the link. I just put that in the chat. You can, you know, click on that link. Now, this is not streamed. You know, you'll be in backstage, and we'll keep you backstage until the stream is over, and then you can come on and talk to us. And you know, we do kind of cool things. Of course, Maxie and Lee, they talk author stuff because they're writers, and that's okay. Vladi will probably split because he's probably about to fall asleep now. But
no, he's not allowed. He's got to hang around to teach me his Reddit foo.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
he'll probably bug out immediately after that.
I need some Reddit foo. Help me.
Click on this thing, guys, and you know, after the stream's over, I'll bring you in. This is another way for you to maybe gradually into getting on live streams, because you'll see that we don't bite. You know, we won't criticize your English if you know, if English is your second language, we won't criticize you for that, because English is my first language and I'm horrible at it. So I mean, you know, that's the way. And of course, the Aussies. Oh my goodness. So anyway,
don't get us started.
So anyway, click on that link, and you know, after the stream's over, I will bring you in. We are the Alita Army. We are advocates for Alita. We support Alita and Rosa Salazar passionately and positively. We are here to stay, Disney. We are not going anywhere, and you will be hearing from us until you get that sequel greenlit. And then even after that, you know, we're going to help you make so much money that you'll want to do Alita Avenging Angel or Alita 3. So that's what we want. We want those movies. Now, Lee and I, we want 8 sequels. So yeah, that's what we want. So plus
I'm on the page with you.
All right, Maxie also, and I bet Lottie is too. And we want a live action series. We want more anime. We want merch, more manga. Of course, we're going to get more manga in the Panzer Kunst Chronicles.
Some video games.
And video games, absolutely. Yeah. You know, I'm not a gamer, but if they came out with a video game, I'd probably get it just to play as Alita, you know. Why is that image there? Well, that image is there because I like it. And to paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and our queen and the Alita Army. And that only leaves us with one thing left to do, and that would be the call to action. On my count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Fill the sequels, baby. All right, so we will see you, well, in the recording next week on Radio Chaos, but we'll also see you tomorrow on the live stream. And a couple of weeks from now, we'll have another Alita live stream because I will be in Columbus, Ohio, competing. Bye.
Take care, guys.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I I do not stand by in the presence of evil and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.
No cause is lost, if there was but one fool left to fight for it.
Yeah, Gary, that'd be nice.